Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another video. So in today's video we are going to be doing the interior of Stitch's beach house. Now I did the exterior of this not too long ago on the channel, so the video will be linked in the description, but for the interior I wanted to make it a kind of like tea house theme, but also to have kind of elements of a beach hut where you could kind of go in and do different activities or go in like a little gift shop and stuff. So that was kind of the theme I went for, but as you'll see as I go through all the different rooms and do them all in a very different theme. So let's get started. So the first room we're starting in is obviously the main room when you first go in, and this is going to be our like little mini gift shop. So I wanted it in here to feel obviously very beachy as soon as you came in, but also just feel very natural and kind of like low-key. I didn't want it to feel like this big fancy shop. I wanted it to seem like a really kind of like rustic gift shop you would get at the back of a little restaurant near the beach side. So I went for some bamboo wall and some pretty plain gravelly flooring. And then once I had done the walls and floors in there, I actually then went into the main left room, which is going to be my tea house room. Now the reason why I did this first was because I wanted to get the tea house element put in so I could then theme the other rooms around what I went for in here. The reason I did that is because obviously I want the tea house to be like the main focus room, because it just fits the theme of the whole building and the way it looks on the exterior. So I decided to skip and go into this one, knowing that I already had the walls and floors ready in the other room for me. So I started by putting in the walls and floors and the really gorgeous Lilo and Stitch tile flooring that I know I wanted to use in here, and I also used the Wanderer bundle because the blues and whites in here just fit perfectly with the theme and with the flooring. And then I started adding in other elements into the room of furniture I was potentially going to use and started rearranging them to where I wanted them to be. I wanted to create this like counter space at the front of the bar, and then I added in some of the new tables from the Stitch bundle. Now unfortunately, as you've probably seen in previous builds of mine, or you know from your own game, these only have one little slot on them at the moment to place things, so I was a bit reluctant about using them in here, but they just fit too perfectly not to, and as they were part of the bundle it just made sense. So I popped those in and added 2 chairs around each table and kind of rearranged them to make sure they were symmetrical and they fit well with the big Moana windows behind, and they also didn't kind of like block the counter seats that I added to the bar. I wanted the bar to be a nice area to add some drinks and snacks and things like that. And then I started rearranging the rest of the furniture I had left and making sure I could kind of fit in everything that I wanted to put in here. After that I went back to the original room, which is our first entrance room, and started making my gift shop. I now kind of felt like I was ready to be able to do this accurately, and I'd kind of set the tone in the main tea house room. So I then went in, added some of the stuff I wanted to use in here, and as it was a gift shop I obviously wanted to add in a counter space where you'd have like someone working with the till and stuff like that to kind of check people out of the shop. And then I also added furniture around the room that would be kind of like items you'd buy from a gift shop or something like that when you are visiting the beach. So I did like a clothing rack, which would obviously have like towels and things on. I did a couple of the yellow bikes as well as some surfboards to be kind of like rented out, and also some beach chairs that could again be rented out and used on the beach when you're visiting for the day. kind of sorted out the furniture that I wanted to use, I started rearranging it, and I did include a Zen garden in the middle of the room. I just felt like this brought such a nice beachy vibe in here with the like sand element to it, and it also gave me a really nice centerpiece for this room so it didn't feel too open and empty. I was going to use some like different tables and stuff in here to display items for purchase on, but I decided actually it would just be too busy and it'd be really difficult, so I placed the Zen garden in the middle, and then I moved on to the right hand side room, which is going to be our rec room. Now in here I wanted to create kind of like a very rustic, very natural kind of like games room for kids or teenagers or even adults visiting in the tea shop. I kind of had the idea of the parents would go and like enjoy the tea shop and relax, and then the kids would come in here for like some time out of the sun. So I wanted to create like different spots in this room that kids would enjoy. So I started by placing out everything I wanted to use and figuring out how to rearrange everything and what would work in here. I didn't want to use anything too bright and too colourful and too kind of modern. I wanted it to feel a lot more rural, as though this is kind of like one of those little kids themed rooms you get like in a really old school restaurant. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. So I didn't want it to feel too flashy and too new, so I used like the Monsters Inc. TV, which looks really old school, and also some of the furniture in there was also very similar to that. So I started placing some of it out, and then I went in and rearranged it all. In this room I went for 4 main corners. One was the kind of like TV seating area, one was more of a games arcade station, another one was a bookshelf area and a desk, and then the last area I actually added in the city model from Lilo and Stitch. I felt like this was like the perfect thing I could add in here because I haven't actually really utilized this indoors yet, and obviously as it is a Stitch house it just made perfect sense. I also added the manta ray mobile and also some hanging leaves from the ceiling to kind of give it that nice rustic look, and finished off adding in everything that I wanted to use. I obviously moved things about to fit the city model in and to give it a little bit more space so people could actually get around it and kind of like use it. And I just thought it looked like a really nice kind of like built up toy section that children would enjoy playing with, but also centered around the theme of Lilo and Stitch as the rest of the house is. We are going on to our final back room, which is going to be our kind of like fresh food market. Now in here I wasn't sure what to put in this back room, but I actually decided, because I'd use the new Stitch truck that we got in the bundle with the like fruits and veggies in it, and I included some of the grocery stands as well outside the tea house, I felt like it made the most sense to include a kind of like ode to that inside the house as well, so it seemed more natural and made a lot more sense. So I decided in here to make a little fresh food kind of like vegetable and fruit area. I just felt like it fit, and it kind of would be the fruits and vegetables they'd use in the tea house and like to make smoothies and things like that. So I went in with some of the big Moana windows and started to place things out. Now this room I found really difficult to arrange. It ended up looking really gappy and I had to keep changing things, and I wasn't completely happy with it. So as you'll see in the final walkthrough, I'll tell you when we get to this room I do change some things from this point onwards, but I do start off with adding some stools in, and then I go in and figure out what else I want to add, including the fruit and veggie stands. So the last thing I did to finish up in this room was added more of the green hanging vines on the ceiling before we get to the final build. Now as we go through, this is the first room. As you can see, this is our little kind of like touristy beach shop. So we've got some clothing rails on the right to kind of be like clothing for the beach and towels and stuff like that. Some deck chairs that you can rent to use when you're kind of lounging on the beach. We've got the little cashier register area with a little mannequin that is obviously ready to check everyone out, and I added a lot of sea related items here, including an aquarium and some fountains. And then in the corner we have some surfboards to rent and also some yellow bikes that people can rent out to use for the day. Heading on into the left room, we have our main tea house room, which again is the main focus of this building. It's kind of what it's all themed around. So as we come in, we've got our 4 kind of rustic tables over on the side with the big Moana windows behind, so you can look out and watch the sea and look at the view. We have got, again, lots more hanging vines and the manta ray mobile on the ceiling to give it a really nice warm feel, some art on the walls, and then we obviously have our counter space with lots of different counter chairs and lots of teas all over the bench. I also included the new Mulan tea set, as well as a smoothie machine in the back with the kind of other decoration we have in the actual kitchen, as well as an ice cream stand and just a nice big window in the middle to brighten everything up. Heading out of there, we head into the right hand side room, which is our like kids rec room. Now in here, I think this is my second favorite room. I really love how this turned out. Again, it kept the continuation of the ceiling decoration, so it all felt really similar. We've got our city model in the corner, some maps on the wall, and then the desk and bookshelf area for those who maybe want to like browse the web. It's kind of like one of those free internet cafe PCs, very old school. And then we have our arcade corner. And the final room, as you can see, I've tweaked a bit, is the grocery store room. It is obviously the same as it was in the original build. I have just added these tables in the center to display different fruits and vegetables, and I actually added a touch of magic rug underneath with this really gorgeous watermelon print to just add to the beachy feel, make it feel very, very summery, and kind of fill this empty space that was in the middle. It just felt way too open and empty in here for me. I just did not like it, so that is the final build. So as you can see, here are some shots of each room. I really love how this build turned out. As I said, my personal favorite room is the actual like tea house room, because that was kind of the one I was most excited to do in the build, but I like how it all turned out. I'm very excited to kind of add to this as time goes on, and if we get any more kind of summery things as the year goes on. I mean, it's pretty much going to be the end of summer probably by the time that happens, but we can hope there'll be some more stuff I can add to this in the future and keep adapting it and changing it as I do with all my interiors. So that is it for the video. Let me know down below what you think, and if there's any other interiors you do want to see, let me know. I do have a list written down of all the ones I have done and all the ones I have left to do, so I am going to be doing a tour in my next video of all my interiors, so that is coming. And then all the ones that are on my to-do list, I will slowly make my way through, because I do obviously want to get those done, but it just takes a lot of time. But I do hope you did enjoy this one. Let me know down below what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe. All your support on the channel is so appreciated, and every like helps so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.